Lorenzo Lamas, our guest in the premiere of New York Live, today at 4.
You're watching the CBS-2 Information Network.
Right now, from the CBS-2 studios on Fifth Avenue, in the heart of the tri-state area.
This is New York Live.
New York Live. Good afternoon. Welcome. Stephen Clark.
And I'm Dana Tyler. So glad you're here with us. We've got a new look for you today, obviously. A new name of our show, New York Live, and that is what it is all about. It is about New York. It is live right here every day. Great guests.
It's kind of like taking off the tie and having great guests and stuff like that. Tie up.
Oh, and I didn't notice.
Yeah, same kind of stuff. We're going to have great guests. We've been doing a tremendous job getting guests in here. And we're going to have the same kinds of people, the actors and the authors and the bakers and the candlestick makers.
Chefs and singers,
and everything we've had right
performances, there.
And what would the show be without?
Ira Joe Fisher. We couldn't do it without Ira.
Oh, I hope we keep that attitude, Dana and Stephen.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you, too. And I'm excited to be here. And I did, in fact, put a tie on. It's a gift from our producer, Jeannie. Thanks, Jeannie. We're going to later on talk about, of course, weather, but we will have some safety tips for the big day tomorrow, Halloween. We'll look forward to chatting with you about that. Stephen, Dana?
I don't want to brag or anything, Ira, but you got a tie. I got the whole shirt.
Oh, no.
I got a whole shirt.
Now I'm in a funk.
That's right. We'll talk to you in a couple minutes about the weather, which is a little chilly today.
Real cold. Traffic, a big issue today with the parade and everything. Heather O'Rourke, always a part of our show. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Dana. Hi, Stephen. Sounds like New York Live is going to be a lot of fun, a lot more fun than a New York City traffic jam. See you in a bit. Stephen, Dana, back to you.
Remember, it is New York Live, so you must promise to be live every day with the traffic. We don't want any taped traffic from yesterday. Because it won't work. One thing that is a little different, we're adding Todd McDermott in kind of a different role here. You're just not going to see him pop up every once in a while. He's here doing the news with us today, bringing us the big headlines.
Hey, Todd.
I get to wear the other official New York Live tie.
That's the other one?
Yes, we have 2 ties and 1 tie-less. And Dana can't wear a tie either. I'll be here to give you the news of the day, the first news of the afternoon, drawing all the resources of the CBS-2 Information Network. You can be sure we'll be talking about the city's huge salute to the New York Yankees today, among other things. Dana?
All right, thanks, Todd. And what a parade it was. 3rd year in a row, 4 out of 5 World Series champions here. Boy, was it cold.
You know, we got...
and windy.
We're looking at some pictures of it. That's not snow, by the way. I just took the tape. I mean, only in New York will you get, you know, thousands of people turning out on a cold day to salute their heroes by throwing toilet paper at them.
And look, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, I mean, just the outfielders, the infielders float. Everybody enjoying a great day. A lot of kids out of school today. The mayor said, sure, it's okay. Chancellor Levy, there's Roger Clemens, I believe, holding one of his sons. They all have the name beginning with the letter K.
That's true. You know, for the last 2 years, Dana and I have done the parade, and this year, because of starting this show here, we stayed around here to do, you know, this brand new look. And frankly, on this cold day, and after having done 2 parades, it's okay. Nice to watch it on TV for a change.
Hey, there's some Yankee fans right behind us here on the plaza. They warmed up, I hope, after being out there all day long. And great salute also at City Hall, which Brett Haber, Cindy Shue, and Michael Pomerantz had a great time there. I hope they stayed warm.
And of course, we'll have more on the Parade of Champions in today's headlines on New York Live in a couple of minutes, including the fire.
There were some, with all that paper and the wind, which, you know, over the past week, we talked about how great all the fans were. I want to give it to the wind and just say that that's what it was.
The wind's fault?
It was not a fan problem.
Okay, it's the wind's fault.
What did you do this weekend?
Let's see. Well, it's the usual soccer, you know, Saturday morning soccer thing, piano lessons. What else did we do? Oh, I came in to see the show, The Dinner Party, with Henry Winkler and
John Ritter.
John Ritter. That was pretty cool.
I know what you did.
Well, but you know who's in the show.
Right.
And let's see, the pumpkin carving.
With the girls.
We did pumpkin carving. Matter of fact, I've got some pictures. If we can show the pictures right there. That's mine.
That's very nice.
That's good.
What's inside there, a candle?
That's a candle, and they're lighting the thing up there. But I used one of those stencils that they showed us how to use last week. There's my wonderful daughters, Hillary on the left and Sophie on the right, with the pumpkins that we all did right there in front of us. We had a 4th pumpkin. Didn't survive. This is what happens.
That looks like from Scary Movie.
Yeah, this is what happens when pumpkin carving goes awry. The pumpkin's dead. But that's what happened to the 4th pumpkin.
Hey, you know the candy situation. You guys give out the candy.
Oh, yeah, we got
some candy in today. And, you know, I'm thinking back.
So my favorite is?
This is your favorite, right? When you were a child, and what you like to give out as well now.
You know what the worst candy is?
I give it to me, the corns. I cannot stand
I hate candy corn.
These corns.
You know the worst part about them?
You know, I'd love to say I've also never had one. I think I just know I would never want one.
You know what the worst part about them is? They're awful, and if you eat one,
you got to eat 100
like
of them. I like these because sometimes I feel like a nut.
Like right now. Can we open them up?
You know, there's a lot of people trick-or-treating today, obviously tomorrow. And in fact, John, Todd, here comes.
Oh, Todd's getting one.
Whoa, John over there. Who else?
This is how we throw it
Anthony, Robin.
Oh, I got Robin in the head.
Hiya.
I didn't feel like it.
Tony Tantillo. Not Bernie Williams, baby, but anyway.
So anyway. Oh, we're going to throw it to Ira, too? I don't think he's going to catch when he's outside. Yeah, okay, we'll throw it at the window really hard here.
That'll do us a lot of good. Look at this. You got the big "Don't Feed Ira" sign out here. What is that about? Come on. You know what? Yes, there was confetti in the air today at the Yankee parade. Let me tell you, this is a kind of New York moment as well. We're talking about a woman was standing outside our window here at noon when we were talking about the weather, and she had a sign which said, "Let's go Yankees." I said, "Why aren't you down at the parade?" And she said, "Oh, it's too cold down there." Pretty darn cold here. How long is it going to stay that way? We'll talk about it a little bit later on. Stephen, Dana?
Okay, thanks, Ira.
All right, now it is time for a look at today's headline, and we'll toss it again to...
Oh, you're going to keep doing this to me. The news and a little candy. Alan, take that, will you? He wasn't looking. Sorry about the stage manager. We'll have to get another.
Okay.
All right, as you probably guessed, top story of the day is a salute to the champs. For the third year in a row, ticker tape rained down on the reigning World Series champs, the Yankees. They made their way through the Canyon of Heroes. Throngs of fans looked out from the buildings above. Others packed the parade route below to get a glimpse of Derek Jeter and company. That parade ended, of course, at City Hall, where each player received a key to the city. Manager Joe Torre credited his team for never giving up.
I can't say enough about the resolve and the fortitude about this group of men. They may get tired, but they never get tired of winning.
Torre also tipped his hat to the other team in the Subway Series, the New York Mets, who got close to a World Championship win, but not close enough. After the big parade, of course, comes the big cleanup. Hundreds of sanitation workers showing they're also heroes of the day, cleaning up tons of paper thrown out the window. And at one point, as you can see there, some of the shredded paper actually did catch fire, as Stephen and Dana mentioned, along the parade route. No word on what caused the fire, but it was put out quickly, and there were no reports of injuries. Of course, CBS 2 has much more on the Yankee parade, beginning on CBS 2 at 5. In other news now, New Jersey High School is mourning the loss of a student athlete killed over the weekend in an accident. 17-year-old Carmela Mel Virgo was a senior at Saddlebrook High and the co-captain of the school's soccer team. Police say he was walking to the Burger King near his home Saturday night when he was hit by a couple of cars. His family donated his organs to help others. Virgo would have graduated this year. Outrage among New York City firefighters after a homeless man convicted of killing one of New York's bravest gets a new trial. Edwin Smith has been serving a sentence of 17 years to life for setting a 1995 New Year's Eve fire in Jamaica, Queens. Lieutenant John Clancy was killed fighting that fire. Today, a judge granted Smith a retrial after his lawyer argued that Smith had not been properly advised of plea deals that would have resulted in a lighter sentence. Of course, we'll have reaction today on CBS 2 at 5 o'clock. And that's it from the CBS 2 Information Network. For now, I'll be back a little later on with a news update. Now let's go back to Dana and New York Live.
Thanks, Todd. Time now for our entertainment report from Hollywood.com. Robin clearing her throat of the Reese's cup.
My favorite.
I know, I love them too.
A lot of big stars.
What's going on?
Well, it was another big night for stargazing in the Big Apple. Last night it was a photo frenzy as the stars of The Legend of Bagger Vance turned out. There's Charlize Theron, Matt Damon, and Will Smith for the premiere, actually the world premiere of the movie at Sony Lincoln Square Theaters on the Upper West Side. In Bagger Vance, directed by Robert Redford, Will Smith plays a mythical guardian angel who changes the life of Matt Damon's character. So who's been Will Smith's Bagger Vance?
Who's my Bagger Vance? Oh, this is my Bagger Vance right here. This is my dad. This is my dad. This is Will Smith Sr. He's been my Bagger Vance for a whole lot of years. You know, whenever I have a problem, you know, whenever I don't understand what to do with the kids, you know, I always call my dad, and he makes it very clear for me. Hell, just beat him. It's like, no. I'm joking. That was a bad joke for TV.
And all of the film's young stars, including Matt Damon, who at one point during the premiere was besieged, as you can see, by autograph hounds, called working with Robert Redford, well, what do you think? Amazing.
It was everything I hoped it would be. It was really amazing. That was the reason I signed up for it, and it just was wholly educational.
I mean, he really has a true passion for film and for actors and acting, and I think because of that, the experience just became kind of effortless.
Robert Redford wasn't posing for the pot. We're too busy talking about candy here right now.
Yes,
We're in a candy frenzy. But back to Redford. He wasn't posing for the paparazzi last night, but he was at the premiere. I got the chance, though, to talk to the movie icon about the kinds of characters he's drawn to, both when he's acting and when he's directing, and how much of that is a reflection of the real Robert Redford.
Matt Damon has described his character as the guy who exceeds in everything, the golden boy, the guy who everything comes naturally to you. And everyone has always thought of you as that guy, probably ever since The Way We Were, and that character where everything came easy to him. Do you see yourself like that?
Well, if you look hard at that film, you see that there was a dark underside of that character because he didn't believe it. He knew he was perceived that way, but underneath it was the demon of not believing he was as good as he appeared to be. Maybe that's me, maybe it isn't.
Well, he's being non-committal, but I think that is
Hubble Gardner.
No, I think yeah, Hubble. Because every woman just cry when they see that
You know,
movie.
when he made the movie with Michelle Pfeiffer, the one where he played the reporter,
right.
They were both news director and she was the reporter, he came to our newsroom to observe us.
Oh.
My voice went up like that, you know? Very nice, always wears the scarf.
Real gentleman. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's very serious about his films. I mean, in this movie, also, like many of his recent ones, is like a slice of Americana to it. And he really has a great eye for that, you know, Americana,
like
the
river
details.
runs through
Right.
it,
And so he says he loves America, and he really feels he has a grasp for the country, and he hopes that his films reflect it. Well, The Legend of Bagger Vance hits theaters this Friday, and we'll see if that can be the film, the one to unseat the 4-week-long reign of Meet the Parents. Dana, did you go out this weekend and see this yet?
No, I saw it early on.
Oh, you saw it early on. Okay, well, people are still going. Once again, it was #1. If the Blair Witch sequel couldn't spook Meet the Parents, well, what movie can? Meet the Parents took in another $15 million this weekend. It has now met that all-important $100 million mark. And get ready for Jim Carrey. He enters the box office sweepstakes in November with The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And don't be green with envy just because Jim gets to lead the high life. During the shoot for The Grinch, and that's Jim in that costume there, he had to wear a latex suit for the entire filming of the movie, which he says was, well, pretty much torture.
You can't really breathe through your nose. You can't really see. You can only see like a tunnel in front of you, so everything else is kind of blurred.
So is
it's wild.
Is it designed like an astronaut suit where you can actually go to the restroom?
No. There's no going to the restroom.
None of that.
It's just a good thing it's super absorbent.
See, this is why he gets the big bucks. And that was Jim Carrey talking to Hollywood.com. I'm sorry, I took another Reese's bite in the middle of my segment. I thought the soundbite was long enough. But anyway, what about the fact that, you know, Jim has not had a really big hit in the last few years with Man on the Moon and Me, Myself, and Irene? Well, he told Hollywood.com that really all he cares about with this movie is that kids go into the theater. He goes in and watches them going nuts. He wants people to walk out and say, let's have a great Christmas, let's go shopping. And he says he really doesn't care about the box office in the sense that he just can't get involved in what the numbers are.
And Ron Howard's directing that.
Right.
So, I mean, it has all the makings,
Oh, I think this one will be a smash hit. But, you know, The Man on the Moon was a project he was so passionate about, and it really didn't do the kind of numbers that. And there's pressure on him, I would think, with the kind of salary he gets to hit it out of the park every time. Wow.
You go ahead, finish
I have to feed my chocolate.
Thanks. We have a lot more ahead here on New York Live. After 30 years on the NYPD, he traded in his uniform for a clown costume. Up next, meet this week's hometown hero. Plus, Lorenzo Lamas is sure to make things sizzle. He's here live, and Tony's doing some sizzling of a different kind.
Yes, I am your waiter today, Dana, and on today's special, we are going to serve one of the finest salads you'll ever have, and it could be one of the finest actors in Hollywood special plate. Coming up.
Can't wait. And Ira, what about this cold? Got your candy?
Yeah, it finally arrived. Must have been delayed like summer. We're talking about a very winter-like forecast for tonight. Any autumn in our forecast. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it, Trick or Treat, coming up here on New York Live.
Don't panic the clients, but we gotta get out of our HP now.
What just happened?
I'd like to introduce our new CEO and my kid brother, Tommy.
CEO!
See the story behind the numbers. Go to cbs.marketwatch.com. Bob Franks and his special interest supporters. Their negative ads attacking John Corzine are not true. The New York Times calls their latest ad substantially misleading. The Star-Ledger says the cost of John Corzine's proposals are nowhere near Frank's inflated number. John Corzine has worked with real numbers, created jobs and balanced budgets his whole life. He supports a fiscally responsible plan that invests in education and protects Social Security without raising taxes. Corzine for Senate.
Daddy,
Yes, sweetie?
can the monsters get me?
Not a chance.
When you've got ADT, you've got the power of advanced home monitoring technology. The power of experienced professionals helping to keep you safe. Call now and get the ADT burglary system installed from $149, plus up to 20% off your basic homeowner's insurance. Sleep tight. Get the power of ADT.
Rush Holt and his cronies just won't tell New Jersey the truth. With ads about Dick Zimmer's records so false, they've been called liars. Holt's even misled us about his own record. New Jerseyans know what Dick Zimmer's done. He increased funding for our schools, held the line on taxes, and protected our children from predators. That's the Dick Zimmer New Jersey knows. Lies and negative attacks? Tell Holt you've had enough.
Welcome back to New York Live on this last Monday of October. Feels like winter.
It is a cold day, and I noticed Ira's got a little snow on the roof.
Yeah, well, actually, I do need to get to my hairdresser.
No, I was talking about the real
I'm
roof.
sorry. I didn't understand what you meant there. We did have some snow yesterday.
Beautiful.
First time in 21 years that it has snowed in October.
Wow. I thought it was
But
pretty.
since records have been kept, and I have this all rehearsed, I want to make sure I told you, records started being kept back in 1869. It's the 17th time that we've had snow in October. Yep.
I had a little snowball fight with my kids last night.
You had that much snow? We didn't have that much
Just
snow.
enough that if you scoop it up, it's a little wet, but you scooped it up. Yeah, you scooped it up, and you could have enough to make a snowball. Sure.
Oh. Well, I'm going to spend the night at your house.
Sure, come on by. We'll have a snowball fight.
Cool.
So what's the rest of the week look like?
Well, here we go. Let's way to segue into that. Here's the deal right now. It's 48 degrees. We have a northeast wind gusting up to 17 miles an hour, bringing chillier air in off the ocean. And then relative humidity is 44%. The barometer is steady at 30.05 inches. 48 degrees right now, and we're talking about mid-40s around our region, but look at Trenton and Belmar checking in at 48 to 50 degrees. Here's the deal. We're still under what's called the backwash, the wraparound effect of that swirling low out and over the open ocean. And we're going to have the clouds persisting from it for a while yet, and that'll keep our night ahead rather cloudy. We could see a few more snowflakes, and aren't they pretty? And you know, no two are ever alike, but then who has ever seen all the snowflakes? I bet there's a snowflake in Buffalo that's identical to one in Tibet. That's my theory, and I'm going with it. We're going to see temperatures drop back into the 30s, right around freezing in some places. And then tomorrow, a little bit of sunshine and warm enough that if we get precipitation, except over the extreme north and over the higher places, it'll probably be in the form of ever so light rain. That's pretty much it for precipitation for the rest of the week. We'll look at your 5-day forecast a little bit later on. But I'm going with that theory. One snowflake in Buffalo, just like another one in Tibet. That's your forecast. That's your weather. Share it with a friend. Stephen?
All right, Ira Joe, thank you very much. It's kind of like candy. Share it with a friend. We have a very special hometown hero for you today. Born and raised on the streets of the Bronx, all George Grader wanted was to join the NYPD. But after 30 years as a top cop with the city, he traded in one uniform for another. Now he's making people laugh in a clown costume. Emily Francis has his story.
Pull out whatever's in there, even if it's a snake.
Gio doesn't make a living clowning around. He does it for free. Day after day, he goes to hospitals, children's hospitals, and senior citizen centers to bring joy and laughter into sick people's lives. Last month, he went all the way to China with the real-life Patch Adams. He's the doctor-turned-clown who Robin Williams portrayed on the big screen. Once a month, Gio entertains the men and women at Star 2 in Nanuet. All of them suffer from Alzheimer's disease.
We feel good when we see him. Before he opens his mouth, we're laughing already. You're always laughing. You know, you keep happy. That's the word. I better say that. I'll punch him in the head.
Just as Patch Adams changed from his scrubs into a clown costume, Gio traded in his police uniform for a clown costume. The 57-year-old was a decorated detective sergeant in the Internal Affairs Department of the NYPD. He was even part of the investigation into the officers who tortured Abner Louima. But after 30 years in the force, he had enough.
I was probably one of the most serious people you've ever want to meet in your life. I wouldn't have thought of putting on a red nose.
Gio retired in 1998, and 2 days later, he had a revelation. He remembered the clown who brought a smile to his face after his 2 sisters and niece died from breast cancer. So he moved to Wisconsin and went to clown school. And the rest is history. And that's why what will be is that Gio the Clown is this week's hometown hero.
Well, I don't feel like I'm a hero. I feel like I'm doing something that a lot of other people would do if they had the incentive and or the time.
For New York Live, I'm Emily Francis, CBS 2.
All right, Gio the Clown has joined us here today in the studio, and you brought your friend with you. Who's your friend?
I did. This is Harold.
Harold? Is Harold real?
Harold is, are you real, Harold?
Okay, well, let's get that straight right there. Gio, first of all, I was told to ask you about the thumb thing. You do a thumb joke here of some sort?
I do.
All right.
I do.
How's this work?
Thumb up, okay. Thumb down, thumb up, thumb down, thumb up. Now, when you go home and they ask you what you did today, you tell them you did something.
Excellent. Okay, I'll remember that there. You met the real Patch Adams, who wears the nose like you did, and actually has a kind of career paralleling what you have done here. What's that like, meeting him?
It was fantastic. We traveled to China for 3 weeks with him, and he's just a very compassionate, loving person, someone who believes in laughter and smiles in society.
As you do.
I do, yes. Yeah.
You've got a website that if people would like to help you out, because you've got a trip coming up to Russia, if I'm right?
I plan to go to Russia with Patch, yes.
Okay, and you need a little help with that financially, so if anybody wants to help out, we've got an email address here.
I do.
Gio@clownnews.com.
That's right.
Or you can write to Clown News, Post Office Box 187, Nanuet, New York, 10954. So when you go into Russia, you're going to take the duck with you?
Absolutely. People love this duck. They love this duck.
Well, great. We really appreciate your meeting. I'll give you a left-handed shake here.
Thank you.
The duck is occupying your right hand.
That's right.
Gio the Clown, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And congratulations on being our hometown hero. Coming up next, it's not too late to get into the Halloween spirit. From spider soap to a human hand of candy, we've got last-minute devilish decor.
You're watching the CBS 2 Information Network.
Tylenol salutes this hometown hero. We'd like to tell the story of your hometown hero. Contact us at 888-HOMETOWN or on the web at cbsnews.com.
Labor of love took on a whole new meaning when Kyle was born. 12 hours of labor.
One of life's most joyful moments can also be one of its most painful. But take comfort, as so many women have, in Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors and hospitals choose most.
Come meet your little brother.
Hello. Tylenol, take comfort in our strength.
The most unbelievable places in the world. The most incredible way to see them. Renaissance Cruises, traveling throughout Europe, Asia, the South Pacific, Australia, and New Zealand. Book an Australia-New Zealand cruise and receive $200 toward a shore excursion down under. Renaissance Cruises. Call 1-877-925-SAIL or see your travel agent.
In central New Jersey, the Star-Ledger says on key issues, Mike Ferguson gives a different answer on a different day. But the Star-Ledger says Mary Ann Connolly has well-reasoned positions and is clear about where she stands. Connolly is committed to a patient's Bill of Rights that puts medical decisions in the hands of doctors and patients, not bureaucrats, to guaranteeing Social Security for this generation and the next, and to ensuring that women don't lose their right to choose. Tell Mary Ann Connolly to keep fighting for our families.
Here we go. You ever driven one of these things?
Lucky Numbers hits the jackpot.
We're gonna be millionaires!
It's razor sharp and funny, very funny.
I'm on Broadway. I'm doing a cha-cha-cha.
The director of You've Got Mail and Michael does it again. John Travolta is absolutely irresistible.
You're so bad.
I want half the money. 20%. 3 ways. My church needs a new furnace.
Lucky Numbers is a winner.
And I'm going to use the rest to open an adult bookstore.
Rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Just one more day till Halloween when all the little ghosts and goblins come out to visit. If you hadn't had time to get into the Halloween spirit, never fear, it's not too late to turn your home into a creepy house of horrors. Joining us now with a look at last-minute devilish decor is the author of this book here. It's called More Splash Than Cash Decorating Ideas. Donna Babylon, thank you for coming by.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
So tell us about this idea of decorating up for holidays, especially Halloween here. If you don't have a lot of cash and a lot of stuff lying around, how do you do this?
Well, I applied the same principles that I talk about in my book, using what you have, only using it differently, looking at things in different ways, and using things that you probably have around your house already.
And if you don't, you can probably run out to the 5 and dime and get it cheap.
Right. It's all inexpensive. There's a lot of emphasis on the splash, but not the cash.
Okay, good. We like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, first of all, we're going to talk about what you call posh pumpkins, which we have down here on the right here. Instead of carving them all up, you actually keep the pumpkins whole.
Right. This is for you. I saw your disaster.
You saw my disaster in the trash, yeah?
Actually, all this is they're medium-sized pumpkins, and I took this real inexpensive nylon netting.
All right, don't catch it on fire.
Don't catch it on fire. And basically, you just set your pumpkin in there, and then bring it up around the stem.
Right.
And then I just tied it off with a colorful ribbon, and then added roses and masks and ribbons, and this is a little Halloween
hat. You
hat.
stick about anything you have around the house.
Anything you have, yes.
All right.
And the little
Great.
spiders, I added some rhinestones for effect.
All right, now we also need centerpieces here. Let me put this down again so we don't catch them on fire. I like this one right here with it looks like bobbing for candles.
Right, this is for the people that don't really have time to do things on their own. I just picked these up at Bath & Body Works, and they're floating candles. You have an instant centerpiece.
I like that. And if you bob for them, it's even better. Like keep them lighted. That makes them exciting.
And then while I was there, I also picked up these orange glycerin soaps. And what I did is I just added some tulle and a ribbon and, of course, a spider.
Oh, well, let's see. You got a spider in there, too?
Yeah, there's a spider in there.
Oh, look at that little spider
inside.
Just
for effect. You can put them in your bathroom, and it's like,
Except for my wife won't let me actually use them when they're in there.
No, that's not what they're there for. This is decoration.
Okay, let's move on down here to the candy corn holders. And I've got to tell you right now, I hate these candy corns.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah. Because once you eat them, I can't stop.
That's it. You're gone. What these are just terracotta pots that I had around.
Yeah.
And I filled them to save on the candy with some styrofoam that I had, and then just put the candy corns around them.
So the styrofoam actually just operates right up about here, and then just like one little layer there.
Right.
So people can actually pick a little off if they get too deep.
Again, don't forget the spiders. I mean, that's the finishing touch.
So I like this spider, though, is right here threatening to find itself getting burned here shortly. So we'll have to rescue him from the fire here in a second.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on down here. I thought the human handful of candy.
Ah, the candy hams. Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, what this is, these are latex gloves.
You can just get these under your sink, probably.
Right, exactly. I have them because I paint a lot. And I filled the fingers with these tubes of candy.
Yeah, little Smarties is what this is here. Yeah.
And then the rest of the hand, I just put the scoops of candy corn or anything that you'd like. Just fill it up, for as full as you'd like it. And then I just tied it off.
Right.
And then, of course, had the scar. Yeah, that's fingernail polish.
Right.
And then I just put them in buckets, and I added these wonderful dagger nails.
I like
and
that.
the ring
and
the spider.
Look just like real.
Yes. And this is for the girl.
And this is like a giveaway gift at a party.
Yeah, you can give these away, at the end. So they're instant party favors. They're part of your decor, and then they're instant party favors.
And you can throw other candies in there if you want, like that.
Oh, sure, yeah, why not? Sparkles or whatever.
Now, this was great. This next idea, I kind of like this if you're having a party, or if you just want to sit the family around a table and kind of get into the Halloween spirit.
Right, because everybody can get into this.
The tombstone thing going on here.
Personalized tombstones, yes.
Right there.
This is just poster board that I painted to kind of resemble, which was kind of fun. Added some bats or any kind of decorations that you'd like with a name.
And you put the name of your guest on it or the family
or whatever,
member.
Yes. And they can go on dining room chairs, so you have your own personal place. Or imagine them around a bunch of chairs in your living room as you're having a party.
Well, that sounds cool. Lots of nice decorating, and I bet the whole table here probably didn't cost you more than a few dollars at all.
Actually, each project was very inexpensive, and each project was very quick to do.
All right, Donna Babylon, thank you very much for coming by. Have a very spooky Halloween. If you want more splash than cash decorating ideas, you can just check out the book. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining us here again today. Still to come on New York Live, there is nothing frightful at all about this guest coming up. Actor Lorenzo Lamas is live to tell us about his new TV show. Plus, Tony's always got something tempting going on.
Yeah, Steve, this is one great cookbook. We're going to talk to the author of this wonderful cookbook, and I'm going to enjoy some wonderful banana tart. And one more thing, I love candy corn. I'm going to eat this whole bag. What is it with you and candy corn? New York Live.
We had a lot of credit card bills.
We just weren't sure about the right thing to do.
If you're a homeowner and you call 1-800-CHAMPION for our Pay Down Your Debt program, we have something that will help.
We call it our Possibilities Profile.
We'll show you options you probably never considered.
Which bills to pay to save the most money?
Paying off your home sooner, funding retirement, education.
I show my customers how Pay Down Your Debt can help them today and 5 years down the road. We were impressed.
Shouldn't you know all your possibilities? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
Rick Glasio is a pretty special guy. He's a father who loves his daughters and takes the time to be very involved in their lives. In Congress, he's worked to make our schools better and stood up for those who don't always have a powerful voice, like the disabled. I'm not asking you to vote for Rick because he's a good father and husband. I just want you to know that you can count on Rick to always do what's right for New York.
Rick Glasio, from New York, for New York.
Meet Maria Diaz. Her parents want to take the best possible care of her, and ShopRite's helping them do it with special ShopRite Baby Bucks that let them save on all the things Maria needs, like diapers, wipes, and baby shampoo.
This week at ShopRite, USDA Choice Trim and Lean Boneless Sirloin Steak is $1.99 a pound. Washington State Granny Smith Golden or Red Delicious Apple, 69 cents a pound. And Swanson 4-compartment dinners, half price, $1.49.
We've waited a lifetime, and now for the first time ever, the Yankees and Mets meet in a Subway World Series. To commemorate this occasion, All-American Collectibles has created the perfect collectible, the official Rawlings Collector's Edition Subway Series 2000 baseball, licensed by the MLB. Each ball features the official World Series 2000 logo, the special Subway Series logo, and both the Mets and Yankees logos. This is a limited-time offer, so order today. Only $24.95 each. 2 balls for $44.95 or 3 for only $59.95. Call now. 1-800-WOODY-64.
This is New York Live!
Yes, it is. Welcome back. And 4:31, time to check in with our CBS 2 Information Network for more on today's headline.
Here's Todd McDermott. Todd?
Steve and Dana, thank you. In today's look at Campaign 2000, yet another reversal of fortune in the presidential race. Several new polls have Republican candidate Governor George W. Bush leading the Democrats' choice, Vice President Al Gore. Coming up at 5, we'll have the very latest from the campaign trail. The Yankees paraded down the Canyon of Heroes today, but lots of those 1 million people watching the parade and throwing confetti weren't from the tri-state area. Yankee fans came from near and far to celebrate the Bronx Bombers. And singer Liza Minnelli is home tonight recovering from viral encephalitis. She spent the last 3 weeks in a Florida hospital fighting the potentially deadly inflammation of the brain. Her sister, Lorna Luft, patched up her feud with Minnelli and was with her when she left for home. Now, researchers said they've discovered a cure for rheumatoid arthritis. We'll have the latest on CBS 2 at 5. Now, let's go to Heather O'Rourke, who's tracking the afternoon commute. Heather?
Hey, Todd. We are checking out what's going on in the Belt Parkway. We do have very heavy delays. We have a live shot to show you of the Belt. Very heavy westbound as you leave JFK Airport all the way out to Lefferts Boulevard. We actually have an accident on the eastbound side of the Belt at Lefferts. The other problem is the outbound Lincoln Tunnel, and it's really not too bad. About 10 to 15 minutes off of 11th Avenue. The other approaches are pretty much minor, and we also have mass transit running on our closed schedule. Back to you.
Heather, thank you. Now back to New York Live.